who should be available.
Yes.
And Jimmy, good to back up.
Yes.
How fortunate do you feel that Jimmy's circumstances aren't more serious?
Well, I think the health of all our players is important, and certainly, in Jimmy's case, he's been excellent for us this year. So to keep him healthy, not only ultimately available when you're healthy, but also, again, I think he's played great. So I think those two things are important.
Michael Rasmussen, you touched on this yesterday, but are you seeing him, is part of maybe why he hasn't been getting points is that you guys aren't getting shots through to where he can bang in off them? Or?
Yeah, I think we've had some, and he's had some looks around the net, and it hasn't gone in. I think that's going to be, there's going to be some ebb and flow to that. I don't think we've spent enough time in O-zone. We haven't got enough shots through for sure. So then, his best asset is his net front ability. He's also on the power play unit that hasn't got out there the last number of games. The other unit's gone first, and they've scored a couple times, which is a positive thing. But that's another area where he's going to score his goals. So I'm not worried. I don't look at production in the short term as much as I look at process, and I think he's played good. I don't see him. I think he's been big and strong and physical. I think he can get back to being a little more physical than he's been. But overall, I think he's been good. He hasn't been great. He's been good. We've got to get him back to playing great.
Is that part just being a rookie too? I mean,
yeah. Well, I think it's part of everybody. I mean, there's ebb and flow in everybody's game, and certainly when you're a young player. You have to play at such a high level every night in this league to be good, and I think it takes some time to understand that and to accustom your body to that. So
he bypassed the level too. So I mean, that's a huge. You've talked about that a lot during the season. I mean, that's a huge jump to go from where he was at to where he is now.
Correct. It's a huge jump, and one that I think he's handled pretty well. I think it takes mental toughness, and I think he's done a good job with that. I haven't seen, when he's had struggles, he's been able to get himself out of it, and that's a real important thing. I think he's a good player, and I think he's really learning to be heavier on the puck. I think now the next step is learning how to create offense out of being heavy on the puck, not just hold on to it, but how to find open guys. The way the real good down low players are. So that's the next progression for him. But he's had a good progression of learning how to win those pucks and being heavy on it.
In what areas have you seen Filip Hronek advance his game this time versus his first time up?
Number one, he hasn't given up, knock on wood, the big chances that he gave up the last time. He had some decisions, basically mostly in the neutral zone, where he either joined the play maybe when he shouldn't or stepped up in the neutral zone when he shouldn't, and he gave up some big chances that ended up goals. He's been, I would say, much more solid defensively. He's been hard on the puck. I still think there's more offense there, but again, he's another guy that hasn't, he's on that other power play unit and hasn't got out there. So I think he's done a real good job. It just looks like Ben Simon's done a good job, him and his staff, with helping Filip mature his game, and he's come back a more mature player than when he left.
Was that speed of the NHL game that he was getting caught up in, or just habits at a different level?
No, I just think decision making, and I think sometimes you want to make things happen and make an impact in the game, and when you force those things, it never works out well. So I just think it's understanding to take what's given and make good defensive plays and make good offensive plays when they're available.
You've had a chance to see Carolina, obviously, so you've made adjustments along the way for that too. What do you expect tonight?
Well, certainly the last time we were in here, we were lucky to get out with a win. Our goalie was excellent. I'd say the two times we've played them, they've had us hemmed in our end way too much, and it's been an issue we've had against other teams as well. So it's something we're going to have to make sure we get solved tonight. They come at you hard. They press forward. If you can't get pucks behind them or take advantage of the rushes that you can potentially get, then it can be a hard night. You got to make sure you get pucks behind them, and you got to make sure you take advantage of the rushes that we've gotten.
How often do you and Ben talk? I mean, you guys talk maybe like after every game, or like multiple times a week or something?
I'd say a couple times a week. I wouldn't say after every game, and it's probably slowed a little bit when our pace of the number of games we've been playing here lately has been extreme. But it also depends on the conversations we may be having with particular players and things like that. But Ben's a real good communicator, and it's been good to keep tabs with him.
Like who's playing well, who's not playing well?
Who's playing well, who's not playing well. Anything he sees in our game, he watches lots of our games, anything he sees in our games, those types of things.